Wonderful to see you. Please introduce yourself and tell us who you are.
I am Ambassador Bridgette Motsepe.
Okay.
I'm a mining entrepreneur, the founding president of the South African Mining Development Association, which is the junior mining chamber. And I am also the special envoy and the Goodwill ambassador for Inter-Africa Trade, Economic Development and Entrepreneurship for the Parliament of Africa Union, called the Pan-African Parliament.
Right. Fantastic. So you are a pioneer in South Africa of the mining industry. Tell us a little bit about that history.
As I said when I spoke, I was the first black person in Africa in the world to go underground.
Wow.
Because in 1986, when I started doing underground mining, Africa was normally doing pick and shovel, artisanal mining, and informal sector mining. And the experience to go 4,000 or 3,000 meters underground was not yet there. And so South Africa was a country that was very globally enhanced with mining experience and mining companies.
Yeah.
And I started as a contract miner. The contract miner will build on a contract. You have to go on a tender, win the tender, and then when you win the tender, then you build a mine. So if you give me a piece of land anywhere in the world, whether it's in Sedrun in Switzerland, where the longest railway tunnel in the world, the two ventilation shafts were built by the company I owned. In Joinville in France, I assisted in the underground nuclear waste disposal shaft, and 500 million phosphate mine in Russia, and mines all over. Anglo Gold Ashanti I also created, I built, in Ghana, in Zambia, Zimbabwe, Zambia, wherever mines everywhere in Africa, and in the other parts of the world. As a contract mine, and then I get paid through royalty payments, not royalty, through management fees or equity participation.
So what's your view of the current state of mining on the continent?
What hurts me is that the continent countries have been liberated for years. Let me make one example. In 1963, Zaire, which is now called the Democratic Republic of Congo, got its liberation. And when I was the keynote address speaker at the mining summit 2 years ago, mining in Daba in the DRC, I asked the Minister of Mines before speaking and giving my presentation, Minister, how many of your citizens own mines? He said, no one. Then I said, the Chamber of Mine presidents, the president of the Chamber of Mines, the minister says there's no individual citizen, black or white, in your country that own mines. Is that maybe a mistake? He says, no. I said, but you've been liberated since 1963, and it's 2023. And you haven't had a single person on who owns, he says, the Chinese and foreign direct investors.
Wow.
Now, this is the kind of problem we're having in Africa. Not just in the DRC, many parts of Africa.
Yeah. So
and that is why in Nigeria you had the Boko Harams coming up and saying, where we have our oil, we need to benefit. And you also have M23 in the lives of all the liberation organizations that are fighting for their rights, saying we also want to have the benefit of the economic ownership. Now in South Africa, what we've done, we're only 30 years old. President Mandela became the president in 1994. What South Africa did do, and thanks God, we learned from the apartheid racist regime before Mandela became the president, where black people were not allowed to own anything. Black people couldn't even own bank accounts, not even allowed to own mining licenses, or we were not even allowed to go to university where we could learn the mining engineer and all the mining courses. So what happened is that we said we are now going to make sure that the historically disadvantaged South Africans are going to own. So we created laws that say, I'm the Minister of Mines. If you want to have a right to mine, and I'm going to give you a license to mine, which is called a right to mine, you're going to do the following. Not less than 30% in the area where you mine must belong to historically disadvantaged South Africans. And then out of the 30%, 20% must be owned by broad-based indigenous people, not one person, but many other people. not less than 5% must be owned by the mining, the mining committees and the committee trusts, the tribes. Not less than 5% must be owned by your workers. So in one of the mines that I own with Impala Platinum, the second largest platinum producer in the world, we have Impala Platinum, where 30% that is owned by the socially disadvantaged South Africans, the 30% of the 20%, 7% instead of 5%. We then managed to let the 7 tribes own shares. Now the tribes don't have money to buy the shares, but we lend them the money to get the loan, and we take their license as collateral.